period by a guy by the name of Don Schreiner.
Schreiner, I remember that.
He used to be brought up by Glenwood School of Boys, then he went to Highwood, and he formed Little Guys.
Mm-hmm.
We went down to Hollywood or somewhere in Miami Beach, wherever it was in that area. We were playing the tournament for the championship. Well, what happened was that in the Illinois tournament that he ran,
Mm-hmm.
he measured out our ace, who was Joey Berg.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened is my son Johnny took over. His son was on a tee, but my Johnny was a stud.
Mm-hmm.
My son Johnny almost single-handedly won the state tournament.
Mm-hmm.
We go down to Miami for the national championship, for the international tournament. He measures my son out.
Measures? What do you mean? Oh, in
You
other words,
gotta
he says he's too tall?
He's too tall. He measures my son out because my son played such a good tournament, and he let Joe Berg in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we had a couple good guys. We won it anyway. But we had to play, listen to this, we had to play 6 or 8 games to get into the finals. His team only played 3. That's how we had it rigged up.
And he ran the tournament.
He ran the whole thing by himself. It was a one-man show.
Mm-hmm.
So as a result of this, when we went down, he had his own officials. He brought his own officials down.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened is, Giulio Narcissi, who was then just a fireman that, God rest his soul, I was on the police board, a fire board, and I put him on. He was a good man, good, honest, tough guy, but he was so livid at these officials. He went up and started choking one.
Because you guys had to play all those games?
Because they were cheating. The referees were blowing, not because but the referees were trying to foul our guys out.
You're telling me that the refs were...
Paid off? Absolutely.
For like an 11-year-old tournament?
Yeah, not only were they paid off, they were housed and everything else. Come on. This guy Skyner ran a crooked tournament.
For 11-year-olds.
And if he's alive, I would say that in court.
And he was, like, this was a big deal, this tournament?
It was a pretty good big deal in those days. That was the only game in town in those days.
Okay. All right.
So what happened as a result of that, as a result of Giulio Narcissi, they had the police come out and everything. I hid Giulio in my room.
Mm-hmm.
I said, Giulio, you're staying in my fucking room for the rest of the tournament.
Or are they going to
You're not moving. You're going to be arrested and go to jail, and I'm not. I can't do any good for you down there.
Right.
So he sat out the rest of the tournament in my room.
Mm-hmm.
We told him he went home. We flew him home before we
Right.
told the cops. What happened is, we get back here, and we're going to court. He had a photometric tuxedo business.
Mm-hmm.
I told you
Right,
about
I showed
And what happened was he was being sued by the people for some reason. Who the hell knows what the reason?
Who was being...
You were being sued.
No, I know. I explained that to you.
So what happened was...
See,
we
there's
were
no
going to court.
bullshit. These are true stories.
And of course, we were involved in a trust action.
Mm-hmm.
As luck would have it, in those days I was a pretty good lawyer. I kept up with stuff. Today, these guys keep up with it.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened is I happened to read a case on all points in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
The court threw it out in Kansas City. The federal court in Kansas City threw it out because these guys were violating the Antitrust Act.
Mm-hmm.
I knew nothing about antitrust, but I read this case. I went to the judge,
Mm-hmm.
blew it right out. On the way home, he reads a letter to me.
Mm-hmm.
He read it to me on the way to court. I said, let's worry about it on the way home. Let's worry about this case first in case you have to testify.
Mm-hmm.
So on the way home, we start talking about what are we going to do with the kids?
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to do? My son Brucey then was playing. His son Joey then was playing.
Mm-hmm.
And these kids are all ready to play, blah, blah, blah. We got a tournament going. We got the practices going and everything else. What are we going to do? I said, well, Chuck, why don't we form our own league?
Mm-hmm.
We don't need that hassle. Let's do it ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he is a brilliant idea, man. This guy is the most brilliant idea guy I ever knew.
Mm-hmm.
So he says, well, we have to have a tournament. David, you can come in. David? David?
Is your son?
Yeah. You can come in. I'm just the guy history. This is my son, David. You know Charles, of course.
How are you?
David,
How's it going?
Hi, good.
I told you I was going to see him Saturday.
Yeah.
He
You
showed
said
up.
you did.
Yeah, he showed up.
Yeah, good. How are you?
Good.
What's going on with small fry?
He's got to get the history of small fry. He's going to put it together for
So what did the antitrust, what did the case
That's
have to
already
do with
been
it?
done. I don't know where it is, but I know it's already been done.
Not like getting it from the horse's
story.
mouth.
Okay, son, can I
Fine.
finish now? You can have your
Did
coffee
he-
if you want.
Did he play?
Out of your goddamn way.
No.
He was too big. He was too old.
Oh,
he was too old.
Okay.
He was too old.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened was, coming back, we start forming. He started the number of committees. We need a committee to do this. We need a committee to do this. We need a committee.
Mm-hmm.
We ended up with 14 committees.
Mm-hmm. You only had 4 guys.
We had he and I on the way back. He and I. We were
You
the
created
brains.
14 committees.
We needed 14 committees
Well,
to make this
we
thing
were
go.
we were goal setting at
Okay,
that
I
time.
got you. I got
To
you.
make this thing go. This is what we needed.
Mhm.
So what happened is, then Chuck said, we're going to need some money. I said, don't worry. I'll go out and raise the money. With my in those days, I was heavily involved in politics. He was just starting to get.
Mhm.
I said, I'll go through macro. I'll get the political guys. We'll get the factories and everything else. So I got the committeeman's permission to go hustle the people I hustled for the politics in those days.
Mhm.
We got no money. We got no problem. We got the money
Mhm.
that we thought we needed.
Mhm.
And we made the local banker the treasurer, so everybody knew it was a legitimate, straight, honest deal.
Lukey.
Claire Lukey. His name, you'll see his
His
picture.
pictures in there.
And what happened was, we knew Claire Lukey was the treasurer. When I went on, said Claire Lukey's watch. Everybody says, okay, we know it's going to be an honest deal. Nobody's going to be feathering their pockets.
Mhm.
Well, we ended up raising so much money, but it cost us a lot more than that. So I went to Claire Lukey, signed the note. Claire, we need this much money to pay the bills.
Mhm.
And then I'll go out and raise. So I went out and raised the money. You know, these guys were just getting started. They didn't have the clout I had. So what happens is, we get all through with this. We put it together, and Julio and Bob Leader were the guys that Bob had the contacts with the teams because he'd been involved for a couple of years. Okay,
So you just went back to the same types of teams.
we went to all the teams.
Okay.
But let me tell you the secret how we got the teams.
Mhm.
We got them free transportation when they got here. They had to fly in like they do anywhere else.
Mhm.
We got them a little shuttle bus from the auto dealers. We knew the auto dealers. We made sure. Then we got free housing. We put them in a motel and hotels,
Mhm.
and we gave them free food.
Mhm.
We had American High School cafeteria. My wife was in charge because she used to do it for Mount Carmel Grade School.
Mhm.
Well, I used to coach at Mount Carmel Grade School. He was one of my assistants.
Mhm.
Jerry Colangelo was one of my assistants. I used
At
that.
Mount Carmel Grade School.
Yeah, I used
This
this
is
as
where?
advice through my. I knew shit about basketball. I was a baseball man. They came in and helped a couple of sessions teach these kids how to play. This was in grade school in Mount Carmel.
Mhm.
That's how we got. Well, we were friendly before that. But that's how we got closer. And that's when we got involved in park district stuff. So what happens? We put this all together.
Mhm.
Now this is the second one we had, and that's number 2. I got a copy of that from a friend of mine.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Casey Enright, he was a congressman or something, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a congressman.
Yeah, okay.
And then what
There's
happened?
that Claire Lukey, that's the banker guy.
That's the guy that held on to the money.
Yeah.
Yep, he
Okay.
handled the money.
Mhm.
So we were up. We got the money. I signed the note. We were $1,300 short. I went to Claire, got the money, paid off. I hustled the money. We paid it off. But let me tell you the interesting story. After we did this,
Mhm.
then I don't remember when we went up to Wisconsin. We went up to Wisconsin either the 4th or 5th time because we went after the first 2 times here. We went to Puerto Rico,
Mhm.
and we had it back to back in Puerto Rico,
Mhm.
and they housed the kids in the Navy barracks.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Then we went up to Racine, Wisconsin.
Mhm.
And I didn't go up. I don't know what he did, huh? But Bob Leader called me when we had our annual meeting.
Mhm.
He said, John, they're trying to take this away from us.
Who's they?
Was Racine, Wisconsin. They wanted the Optimum Club to sponsor. They said
Optimist.
they have the biggest, we had nothing.
Mhm.
So I drive up there like a maniac to make that annual meeting.
Mhm.
And I was like, I don't know if you ever saw Gurdon, the guy who was the Democratic chairman, everything boom, 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 out of order. I would handle the gavel like a goddamn dictator.
Mhm.
That's it. We stay in Chicago Heights.
Mhm.
Then get shot to try and make a motion to put it out.
Mhm.
Then we go to Lincoln, Nebraska. They try to do the same goddamn thing. 2 years in a row, they tried to take the tournament away from the Heights. After that, I never tried again.
So you guys organized this thing, created it,
Yeah.
and then all the people that are in the tournament then try to grab it from you.
2 of them.
2 of them. Well,
Racine, Wisconsin, and
probably
Lincoln,
other ones
Nebraska.
too. But when you
John,
guys,
do you remember, by the way, that there were twin guys in Racine? Milky
Yeah.
Brothers or
Milky. You
they
got
were-
the name. I didn't remember the name, but that's the name.
Because when I was coaching
Yeah,
and we were in Racine,
Yeah.
I was a very nice guy.
Yeah.
And then Milky was a referee, And I walked, I don't even know if you were there or not, but I walked out there, the guy fucked us.